What's going on, everyone? Jacob here from FC Hero, and on this episode of the 850 project, it's all about power. And the first piece of that puzzle is the exhaust. I've got a special guest with me today, Josh from 88 Fab, and I think I remember seeing you commenting on the season 1.
Yes.
I saw that 88 Fab commented on the videos. I was like, wow, so you've been watching the project.
Been watching the videos and following the progress of the car, and
it's really awesome that we got to fly you up here, and we got 4 days to build a full exhaust system, huh?
Yes, sir. Yep, we're going to do a high-rise header, and then from there we'll do a 2.5-inch catback. Hopefully make some more power.
Yeah, and sound a lot better.
Yes.
So what do we got to do? Rip the old exhaust off?
Yep. We'll start by taking off the old exhaust and start from the header and work our way back.
All right. Can't wait to hear it. To say I was excited to rip the ugly old exhaust out of the 850 was an understatement. Next up, Josh modified the rearward engine mount to allow more clearance for our primary tubes.
So you can see how much tighter it fits now compared to, it was way out here. So that should help with some runner clearance.
I would have looked at that and been like, well, that's in the way. Nothing you can do about that. After removing excess material, boxing it in for strength, and giving it a quick coat of paint, it went back in the car with much more room to spare. You can see there's a lot more clearance now, particularly over here. The next thing we're looking at is if we can add any more clearance above here, right where the heat shield is. After trimming up the lower heat shield, we gained all the clearance we could to start building our exhaust header. Starting with a laser-cut exhaust flange, Josh began welding a small section of the primary tubes to the header flange. With the plan to build high-rise primary tubes, it would be impossible to install this header into the car as one piece. By cutting the header flange into separate pieces, Josh would be able to build and install the header one runner at a time. Because the ports on the Volvo cylinder head are oval, we need to make a transition piece from oval to round in order to properly weld the rest of the primary tubes to the flange.
All right, so we're getting ready to start the first 90 up on the cylinder heads. So I've got 180 bends. Like, do we want them all to be the same? Or, have them a little bit different?
They can be a little bit different.
Obviously, once they get underneath the car, the height going into the collector is going to be different.
Right.
I think maybe the two that go to the top of the collector, make those a little taller. Mm-hmm. And then that way, that'll help keep them close to being equal as they can. And then I think having 1 and 5 going to the bottom, and then either 2 or 4, one of those going to the bottom would be easier. All right, I'll go ahead and chop this one off and throw a tack on it and see where it sits.
All right. This is the exciting part, guys. Finally seeing where this is going. Sculpture, really, right?
Yeah.
Loud sculpture.
Loud sculpture.
Josh then tacked up some primary tubes to get an idea of how and where we wanted to go with the exhaust header.
Too tall?
No, I think that's perfect.
Yeah.
That's pretty tall, but
That's very tall.
it's it's gonna be cool.
All right, we'll roll with it.
All right, let's do it. That is ridiculously tall.
All right, so we're gonna go ahead and test fit cylinder 2 and 3 and see how she's looking. 2 down, 3 to go.
Yeah.
Hell yeah,
That looks
dude.
freaking bad.
No.
So this one's straight, that one turned in,
Turned in.
and that one turned in.
Yep. So these 3 will be shorter.
Slightly shorter.
Yeah. So instead of cutting it 1.5 inches, I'll probably cut it right on the bend, so they'll sit about 1.5 inches lower.
Okay.
Guys, I see progress.
Yes. So got all the high-rise runners done.
Yep.
And so now it's just down back to the collector and from there 2.5.
Yeah, you want me to take over from here?
Yeah, we'll definitely let you do some welds. You know, that way you can say that he welded on his own exhaust.
All right, well, let me do it on the exhaust, not the header.
Ah, that's frustrating. But you know what's more frustrating? Parts that don't last. That's why at FCP Euro, we sell only the highest quality OE, OEM, genuine, and aftermarket parts for your European car. Now, let's try this again.
After measuring, tacking, and test fitting, Josh began fully welding the primary tubes, back purging each pipe to ensure we have the strongest welds possible. You see Josh's weld art? Lettering?
That's smart.
With the 5-to-1 collector mocked up in its position, we started laying the groundwork, or pipe work, for the rest of the exhaust system, starting with the flex pipe and resonator.
I'll hold the pipe in there, you know, hold it flush here and then move this where it's flush there, and that'll give us the angle.
38 points here.
I'll cut it 40.
40.
Yeah, I'll cut it at 40.
Yeah.
So usually I will take that 40-degree angle and then just put this in my saw at 40 degrees angle. Because my saw it'll go up to 45. But since I don't have that here, I have to kind of eyeball this and then freehand the line and then cut it on their little porter band. All right, see how that works.
After watching Josh weld all day, he truly made it look easy to lay perfect dimes on every pipe he welded.
Part of the reason why we're doing all this is to install a wideband O2 sensor. So if you don't know, a wideband O2 sensor measures your air-fuel ratio. Another thing too is we need this wideband O2 sensor to plug into our Megasquirt, so our Megasquirt can read the wideband O2 sensor so that we can properly tune the car. So for somebody at home who's welding in a bung for their O2 sensor, what would be the ideal location typically?
Yeah, so within 12 inches after the collector, and then you want to keep these at 90. Anything below, and you run the risk of water collecting, moisture from the exhaust collecting,
So
and potentially, messing the sensor up.
looks like we got a good spot right here to
Yep.
weld it in, and we got that knocked out, right?
Yep.
Josh insisted that I weld at least something on my exhaust system, so of course we went with the most visible part, the tip. Let me tell you, it was not as easy as Josh made it look, even with him hand-holding me throughout the entire process.
Well, how's it going?
It's going.
You a master welder yet?
No. No, but Josh is a really good teacher.
Yeah?
Yeah. It's like almost like muscle memory.
Oh yeah.
Like I feel like
totally.
it's just like you just get into a rhythm. Josh was saying that some welders will listen to certain types of music, and they'll pick a certain type of music depending on the material that they're welding, because the beat of that music goes with how you need to move on that material based on the heat.
That makes sense. Go with the beat.
Yep, we can. Yeah, just every time that bass hits or.
How's Jacob doing?
Good. I mean, obviously you're not going to be a master welder in 20 minutes in your first beat. Keep going around in a circle.
Cool.
I had a better understanding of how much time he must have put in to perfect his craft. You can see my ugly welds from here.
Jacob, these look pretty good. Look at some beads now. Damn. I'm proud of little Jacob, dude. That's hot.
What?
Your welds, dude.
You serious?
These aren't bad.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
I mean, it could be way worse, dude. They're not bad at all.
Working with Josh from 88 Fab these past few days, it became clear to me that he was not just a welder or fabricator. He was a sculptor, an artist. To be able to turn an idea, a vision, and piece it together into something real and something beautiful was honestly incredible.
So it's been a long, would you say an exhausting 5 days?
Yeah, definitely a long 5 days.
So you're leaving today, so
Yep.
we're done though, pretty much, right?
Yeah, we're done. Finished welding, and then time to throw it on the car, hear how it sounds, and
I'm like nervous and excited at the same time. I'm not nervous because I think it's gonna sound bad. I'm just like, I have no idea what to expect. But you can see, what is this, 12 inches long?
yeah, 16-ish
16?
versus 36 from flange to the beginning of the collector.
I could fit the stock header just right there. Oh my gosh. To be honest with you, Josh, I could stare at this all day, but
Yeah, we could.
let's just throw it in the cart here. It sounds.
Sure, sounds good to me.
With Josh's crazy high-rise long tube 5-to-1 race header complete, it was finally time to fully install it into the 850. From the runners, to the collector, to the spring clamps and V-bands, we finally pieced together Josh's one-off exhaust, eagerly anticipating what it will sound like.
I don't even want to do it.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't go that far.
All right. Why is my heart pumping? All right, you ready? Rip the Band-Aid off. Yes or no?
Yes. It's actually quieter than it was before. It's quieter.
It sounds totally different.
I'm glad it's quieter than what I expected.
It's not like piercing your ears.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Oh man.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow.
Holy. Wow.
Heck yeah.
What is this gonna sound like under load?
Yeah. Let's go find out.
Holy
God, that sounds amazing.
You freaking did it, dude. That was it. That's
that sounds so good.
That is like
Holy
a percentage
crap.
of the BTC. That's it. Oh my god. It feels good.
How's third gear sound? I wanted to hear the lower RPMs. It's wild, dude. It's so deep down low.
Yeah. Oh my god. My face is killing me. It sounds unreal. It sounds better than my dreams.
Yeah.
Like, unbelievable. Josh, I can't thank you enough for doing this. Like, you are the man.
Thank you.
Tomorrow we're going to be installing a Megasquirt ECU, running at the dyno, and you have to head out today, right?
Yeah, I gotta head back to North Carolina.
So I guess I'll FaceTime you at the dyno.
Please
yeah?
do.
Yeah, and then next time you're here, you'll have to rip it on the proving grounds at Lime Rock Park.
Yeah. Sounds like a blast.
Yeah. Very exciting day today. We finished up the exhaust, and now we're moving straight on to the ECU. So this was the ECU that we've been using in the car. Do you remember from season 1? This is the vast tuning ECU that Aaron built us, and it really is great. It's amazing what you can do with M4.4 or with the stock ECU. However, for what we plan on doing with this car, we're going to need something a little bit better. I am not qualified to be doing any of this. And so I brought my good friend Pat to help me out. We'll call him the Megasquirt for this episode.
So this is a Megasquirt 3 Pro plug-and-play module, well, mostly plug-and-play module that'll go right into the stock ECU location.
So the cool thing about the Megasquirt ECU is that it basically just plugs right into the factory location. This is our intake air temp sensor that also needs to be wired here. We'll probably throw that guy right over here in our intake pipe. And then finally we'll wire in a wideband O2 sensor so that we can tune it. So pretty simple. See how it goes.
While Pat got to work on installing the intake air sensor, I began running the wires inside the car for our AFR gauge.
Got it. All right. I'm happy with that.
With the intake out of the way, Pat was able to clean up some of the wiring and relays that were no longer needed and began running the new wires that we needed for the Megasquirt.
So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ignition, VVT, and then intake air temp.
Beautiful.
This is the connector for the wideband oxygen sensor.
With the new O2 sensor installed in our exhaust, we began routing the cables to the ECU in the engine bay and gauge in the car.
Cylinder 1, 2, 4, 5, 3, because that's the firing order. So even though it's a connector 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you have to wire it for just the ignition. Yep. So we have cylinder 1 here. That's going to be blue. All right. So we're on the last 2 wires, the power and switch power and ground for the wideband oxygen sensor. So once I hook these 2 wires up, we will be able to start the car. Is this a cruel joke? Is there no 10 millimeter?
Okay. Plug and play part. This is the actual plug and play part. Whoa, we got power.
So I just need you to adjust the key on. fuel pump. Well, everything's wired up, plugged in. Pat's checking some things on the computer, but we're about to fire this thing up.
Doesn't have a configuration to support the firmware. If you want to start it.
Do you just pull tater tots out of your pocket?
Yeah. Starving, I didn't get to eat anything today.
Freaking starved, I didn't get to eat anything today.
All right, ready?
Go ahead.
It runs. First crank started right up. So it is plug and play.
The sauce! Yeah. That shit's spicy.
That sounds good, Pat.
Sounds really good.
About half throttle. It feels better than the other ECU already. And there's no VVT.
Yeah.
What the heck?
Oh, she's gonna be spicy.
Oh, dude. Because remember how much of a dog it was with VVT unplugged? It had like nothing.
Nothing.
Until like,
And now it's just like,
it just goes.
just goes.
Without VVT, what the heck?
Yeah.
Dude, oh my God. Oh my God, with VVT, it's gonna move. So far, so good, right?
Yeah.
It's running on Megasquirt, Pat. Is that Jimmy? Hey! It's Jimmy. He's the owner of the shop.
Oh. Fucking let her go ahead. Go ahead.
Keep going. Where'd that go to?
That was to 7,200.
Pat and I got the car running pretty smoothly with some street tuning, but we can only test so much within the public speed limits. So the next stop was to head to the dyno to really open this thing up.
So today's dyno day, and everything's good. We checked the oil, we checked our tire pressures, there's no leaks, everything's good. Pat and I were here pretty late the other night wiring in the VVT. So if you see here, we have an additional cam sensor and an additional wire going to the Megasquirt. And we wired up the VVT, checked on the laptop, and our VVT cam sensor signal was just completely all over the place. And we were here till like, what, midnight, like trying to figure it out. Did we wire it wrong? Is there something, what's going on? It turned out that this engine has a very specific cam wheel for the cam sensor. This engine actually came out of a Denso car, not a Bosch car, which is probably why it has this funky sensor. So we have no settings, the Megasquirt has no way of knowing how this works. So thankfully, Will, our good friend Will, had a car he was parting out and had the correct cam wheel that we've popped in here. Everything works, everything looks good, right? So let's head to the dyno and see what it does. First time, was shocked at how much power the original engine made. Should we just keep this engine? Second time, pretty disappointed at how much power the new engine made. This time, I'm hoping to redeem ourselves a little bit.
The wideband is reading full lean.
Oh, really?
Yeah. The O2 sensor, it keeps cutting in and out.
Oh, really? Should we check?
I'm gonna check underneath.
Okay. Is the sensor bad?
I don't know if it's bad.
I mean, it's just a LSU 4.9.
After checking the wiring for the O2 sensor, we removed it from the exhaust to realize the sensor had failed.
Is that the culprit, Pat?
That's the culprit, but it looks real rich.
Thankfully, Jimmy had our backs with a new sensor.
We think we have a faulty O2 sensor.
In your car?
Wideband, yeah. LSU 4.9 AM.
Oh, you need one for your car?
Yeah, I think.
have one.
Yeah.
Yeah, let me get it for you.
Thank you.
30-2004.
That's the sensor, yeah. You don't have a wrench for that, do you?
I'll get you a wrench.
Thank you.
Perfect. I'll be right over. All right.
Thank you.
You're not filming me, are you?
No.
Okay, that's it.
Pat's not here.
Where's Pat? He's in the bathroom. So Jimmy from the shop pulled through. We think we have a bad sensor. Of course, he's got stockpiles of these. So got this and a wrench, and hopefully that fixes it.
Yeah,
There we go.
You in business, Pat?
we're in business.
So I added 2 degrees of timing,
Yeah.
and it liked it.
It
a
liked
lot.
it?
A lot.
yeah?
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
It's got knock control. I'm watching the.
Yeah, watch it.
I'm watching
You
the
can
knock.
back off.
I'm watching the knock in the AFR.
Yeah. All right. If it likes timing, that's cool.
I went from like 18 to 22 degrees.
Liked it? Oh yeah. Dude. All right, we've officially made more power.
Yeah.
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 Last time we were here, we made 154.9. Eventually, we got to the point of diminishing returns. However, we knew there was a bit more left in the car with some problem solving of the VVT control.
Safe. You know what I mean? I have closed loop fueling in. That's turned on. Yeah, we're definitely gonna have to play with the VVT some more.
Yeah.
Like at a later time. Something with the control with this software is a little.
Yeah.
I think it's a little weird. Everything is like within reason. It's got a good air fuel ratio. It's got a pretty good ignition timing table right now.
Yeah.
We'll have to mess around with the VVT a little bit more, but it definitely like 10 degrees of advance across the board. Which is a little odd. It picked up at the top end even with advance.
Yeah.
So we'll have to play around with that a little more, but we did make more power. We made 161.9 horsepower and 161.1 foot-pounds of torque. So that is
That is a pretty significant difference
absolutely
from where we were before.
Oh yeah.
I
And
think-
I think even drivability itself is it's a lot better.
Yeah.
We have a good solid base to go off of.
We're not done yet. Tune in for the next episode. We're still gonna make some more power with this thing, with ITBs. Very exciting. It's gonna be a lot of work, but it's gonna be worth it, even for the sound alone. Try not to rail me in the comments too hard this time, guys. Like, comment, subscribe. See ya.